Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. And I'm here today and we're going to do something I haven't done in a while. So we are going to, or I'm going to, create a scrapbooking layout inspired by something out of the scrapbooking brochure. For whoever doesn't realize, on September the 4th, I do believe it was, Stampin' Up released their first scrapbooking brochure. And so it complements parts of the mini catalog that are from September to December, as well as introduces 2 additional kits more focused on scrapbooking. So like I said, there's 4 suites in there, and we're going to kind of have a fun recreation of one of the layouts today, but of course we're going to put our own spin on it. And so I'm going to add my desk in here right now, and I'll show you what's on my table. Don't be surprised. It's a little bit messy at the moment, but we've got lots of stuff here. I'm going to have to turn up some lights when we do that. Everybody who pops on, make sure to say hi. Just so you know, sometimes depending on where you're watching from, because I am actually streaming to Facebook and a Facebook group and YouTube at the moment. So sometimes depending on where you're watching from, it doesn't always translate the comments over, or there is also sometimes quite a large lag. But make sure to say hi and let everybody know where you're here from. Okay, so let's put me up in the corner. Okay, and we're going to grab some more light. The lights will calm down in a second once the camera kind of focuses itself. Okay, this light. There we go. Okay, so here are the things that I have grabbed. I'm actually super excited about this because this is actually something that I really love to do, is take like inspiration from what used to be like called the idea book, and now we're going to call it the scrapbooking brochure. Let me just push this down just a little bit. And then I'm going to have to lift it up once I stand up, which is going to be any minute now. Okay, so for whoever has not seen, this is my kitchen plate. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what I want you to look at. But we are going to use my kitchen plate in a minute. But so this is the front of the scrapbooking brochure. I can zoom in a little bit, but I'm sure you guys have probably seen it by now. And this is actually what we're going to use as our inspiration. Mine's going to look quite different, but at least it was a starting point. And like I said, I haven't done that in a while. So I thought that's how we would start off today. So I know it might seem a little bit early for Christmas, but people are asking for it already. So there you go. Plus, the way that this scrapbooking brochure is set up, so there's, hey Ashley, there is a fall themed kit. There's a Halloween themed kit, there's a Christmas themed kit, and then there's a winter themed kit. Now that doesn't mean that you can't mix and match stuff from other places. So I'm going to show you, I'm actually going to pull a bunch of stuff that's in just the regular mini that's not part of the scrapbooking brochure, but I wanted to show you where our inspiration came from. And I'll show you what else I have pulled here. So I have used the papers that are part of the Reindeer Memories. So right there is a scrapbooking workshop that you can like order, and it comes to you. You cut it out exactly how the directions tell you to, and you've got your 3 layouts and you're good to go. Or you can buy the products mix and match, right? So, and when I design my workshops, typically that's how you find them, right? So like I pull the paper and stickers and coordinating cardstock, and then I throw in a couple of embellishments, that kind of thing, kind of to do my own thing with it. So yes, eventually Reindeer Memories will have a scrapbooking workshop. Not yet though. We're going to work through a few other things first before before we have a full Christmas workshop. But so this is the mini, right? So this came out. If you're a customer of mine, I've sent you a copy of it. And it is the mini from September to December. And so there's tons of fun things in here. So I also did grab some things from the mini to play with. So I have grabbed some of the mix and match ephemera packs. And I actually hope that Stampin' Up! Goes like full in on the ephemera packs and we see it translating more over to more scrapbooking ephemera. Like, so if you would like to see more ephemera for scrapbooking, make sure to send them an email. But so I am going to add some of these or play with some of these with today's layout. So these are the three kind of, obviously I didn't pull out the cards and card bases, that you can do another project with that. But this is what I've grabbed because I'm going to tuck them in some spots today, I think. I grabbed as far as embellishments, I have the peppermints, which I know are not available currently, but they will be back, I do believe, as of next week. So they're the little adhesive backed peppermints. I have those. Then I have, and this will be no surprise to anybody, the real red and white baker's twine. We're going to use that. I think I just need to pull something a little bit closer to me so I actually have somewhere to put all this stuff that I have piled up beside me. So I did grab, as part of the scrapbooking collections, they have, for each one, there's a stamp set kind of that would be good for titles. You could also use them on cards too, though. They're good for like decorative elements. So I did not grab, which I thought I did, the one that goes with Reindeer Days. So I have the one that goes with Snowy Days, which is right more like the, so this is the one, Reindeer Memories. This is the one for that one, like the Follow La La La, Festive Memories. This is super cute, these little dangling dots. The when, where, what is really cute too. And then there's a present, and then you can use this right for your date. Oh, so jolly. So by accident, somehow I have two of these and none of these. So, yeah. But so, like I said, there is, this is where it comes from, is the snow days. Snow day, not days. And it is right here on page 11. So I did pull that out in case you want to use it. The other thing I thought I could use for a title is from the Peaceful Season, which is part of the mini. There is the Christmas, which is super pretty, but I don't know necessarily that's exactly what I'll use it for. But there's the very pretty Christmas script, and then there's like an offset for that, and then these are really pretty, all the little labels. So I know I'll get tons of use out of that. So that is in my pile of stuff. And then I do have the Reindeer Fun because, you guys, the thin cuts alone, or die cuts, I guess, alone, are so stinking cute. I couldn't not. So it is a photopolymer stamp set. And then when you do the dies, I die cut a ton of pieces here that we're going to play with. I will add some of them in here, that kind of thing. Also, for this, there is a die that cuts out the paper. So this is a piece of the decorative paper that goes with the reindeer games. And this thin cut fits perfectly. There's so many die cuts. So this die cut fits perfectly over the decorative piece of paper, and it just cuts it out, right? So lots of the sweets have that kind of hidden treasure in there. I'm just going to show you. So it is actually this piece of paper here, I do believe, yeah, that will cut out that die. But I digress. Okay, so here's where we're going to start. Isn't this super exciting? We've got like a red piece of paper and my kitchen plate. So like I said, I'll show you again what we're going to do here. So, oh, it's actually the cover page of the brochure. There we go. I knew I marked it. Okay, so I'll put this up here and we're going to use it as inspiration. But so, right, I wanted to have a round element like a wreath, and we're just going to create it with all the coordinating papers that go with this suite. So you don't have to be super complicated. You can literally, I went to my kitchen and this is like my dessert size plate. Now I did this because I want it to be pretty focused and the circle to be kind of right in the middle. So I have actually drawn the line already in pencil really thin around on my real red cardstock. But I just wanted to show you, you don't actually need anything super fancy. Okay, so we're going to put the plate aside because at some point, if I'm not careful, we will break my kitchen plate. Actually, I don't think you can actually break that plate. But okay, so then the only other thing I've done is, like I said, I did cut a ton of pieces just because when I get something new, I like to play with it. And then I cut out from all the different decorative pieces of paper squares that we're going to use to create the wreath. But we're going to do a few things before we start. But I just wanted to show you where we're going to start. So I have like a stack and I kind of have alternated them. They should be in maybe some semblance of order, but I'm not sure anymore as it's been moved around my office a number of times. Okay, so this is a piece of paper from that suite. And I want to keep the extra because I love this. This snowman is so stinking cute with the little, I guess it's supposed to look like a deer too. So we're going to keep some of this paper because we don't need this in the middle. And we do have this piece of real red going over it, right? So I wanted, their border is much wider than I decided to do. I wanted a skinnier border. But so I'm going to gut the decorative paper first. And let's do, we're going to do like an 1.5 inch border. Okay, I'm actually going to have to move a few things here. I'll bring it back if you want to see. But here we go. Okay, so I'm going to do like an 1.5 inches is more than enough, I think. Okay, so I'm just going to put my blade in. I'm doing this backwards to the way I would normally do it, but that's okay. So I actually don't need this out, which is helpful. So I'm just lining it up, like I said, at 1.5 inches. I'm going to take out that middle part. And it doesn't actually have to be perfect. You just want to make sure, though, you're at least getting close. And then if you have to, you could just trim out the last little piece with scissors, right? Okay, and this piece of paper, I did not cut any squares out of it yet because I knew, right, I was going to, so the little bells were going to be the outside. So like right here, for example, I just missed it slightly, so I'm just going to go in with my scissors. There we go. Okay, so I knew I probably wouldn't want any more bells on my circle. But then when I was looking at this cute print, I thought, well, we could add that in because it's actually quite a nice contrast to the other pieces of paper. So I'm going to cut one row of these. And the pattern doesn't actually even have to make sense. But I'll just cut a few that I can add in if I feel like I need them. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, though, is on my real red, I'm going to do some splattering. Okay, so I have more squares there. Okay, I think I can put my trimmer away now. Okay, so I want to splatter my background, and so I have not actually added pigment to my white ink pad yet. So when you order a white ink pad, I do believe the two things come together, and your ink pad, your white one, even though it looks like it's black, it's not. White pigment ink comes empty, and you add your pigment to it. So I have not done that yet, but I have the white pigment ink. So we are going to actually splatter with the white pigment ink, and I'm just going to add a little bit because you don't need a lot onto my block, and then I can add a bit of water to it. That's a lot of water, but that's okay. We're just going to go with it. And then now I can make some snow on my real red. And I love how it's such a nice contrast right against the dark color. And look, like I've hardly used any. And it just kind of gives us a nice place to start. Okay, let me just get something to clean up just a little bit. There we go. So it's actually crazy because today here it is like, I just think it's funny that I am working on something that's snow, because it's not like we don't get snow here. We do, but it happens to be like 30 degrees Celsius outside, which is very warm. So I'm just gonna, I might just move this out of the way now. Now that we did that, got my glass mat, cleans up super easy, but maybe I'll just grab a Versamat for right now. I just don't want to put this back down. Okay, so now here is where we are going with this, right? We have our bells, and then our real red. So now it's not like quite so just like stark in the back, not stark, just so like red in the background, right? Okay, so I'm going to actually add my adhesive around the edge of my mat on the inside edge. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to actually grab my ruler, because if I set down my background crooked, then everything is cattywonka. At least if I can get my background down straight, then I kind of feel good about it. So there we go. So like I said, I did a smaller border than they did because I'm actually going to add more photos also than they have. Okay, and I'm actually going to just very quickly use my heat tool because it is pigment ink. So I just want to make sure it dries or is supposed to dry before we move on to the next step. It shall just take a second. Okay, so that now that we've done Christmas, what do you think we should do next? Fall or Halloween? If it actually smears, it's really not that bad, right? Because it is actually supposed to just look like snow. So, okay, I'm just going to flip it over and kind of try and even it out again. Okay. So, while we give that another second to dry, so has anybody else noticed that there's now 12 by 12 cardstock in the Stampin' Up line? So they're starting with a few colors, and then it will keep expanding, right? So there's some single packs, and then there are like combination packs. Okay, this is not straight, guys. What the heck? I have to fix that. See, that's what I said. You can't go crooked right off the bat. Okay. You're going to say fall? Fall before Halloween? Well, it is just kind of funny because I'm doing Christmas, right? But I really wanted to do, like I said, I was completely inspired by the cover of the brochure. So, and everybody loves a good, like, wreath pattern, right? So, there we go. And my background, I'm pretty sure is mostly dry. See, look, it totally looks like snow on there. Okay, so I have garden green mats. I have two photos. I'm going to add a 4x4 and a 4x6. And we're going to use twine because I can to decorate. And I love this. You guys know. The amount of new embellishments is making me so happy. I think we could totally do fall next. We still have lots of time till Halloween too. So when I add twine to my photo mats, so I'm adding a photo placeholder right on here because I don't have my photo for this year. So, but I can just tuck my photo in behind my twine because I'm not actually adhering the twine to the photo mat, right? So I just wrap it around a few times and tie it. Oh, and this twine is actually very soft. I like that. And then I'm going to add, so, one moment, please. Please hold. You can still unravel them. Okay, so the other thing I'm not going to do until we get our whole wreath ready is I want this to be able to move around so that if it's in, like, let's say it's right here, and then I want to put something there, then I might move my tie a little bit. So I'm going to add it on 3D foam or dimensionals, and then I can still move it around, right? So let's see what I have here. I have a little bit of everything. So we'll add some dimensionals. And I'll leave this, and then, okay, and asking, where did you have your brochure printed? So I printed it at home, and then I took it to Staples, and I had them bound together. Because for me, right, I want to be able to go back and forth between both things. If I had to do it again, I would have printed on both sides. But right, when I printed it out, I only printed on one side. Next time I would do it on both sides so that they would just be together. I'm just going to glue them together. And so I just had it bound at Staples because I will use stuff from the mini with the scrapbooking brochure, right? So that's why I did that. And they did not do a perfect job, but that's okay. I just wanted it all in one place because you can also have it just printed at Staples, right? You can just send it to them and they will print. Okay, so we'll do the photos first. And like I said, I'm just giving it my background a second to dry, but I actually think it's dry now. So I thought I might as well do this. And then we're going to start laying in the little pieces of paper. Okay, so I can still move this around if I have to. And then I have a 4x4. So I wanted to get at least 2 photos. They have just like one small photo, but I had a few more photos than that. Okay, and I'm not going to trim up my ends or anything also until we are like all in the right spot. Nothing's going to move. All of those fun things. Okay. Probably going to need more of those, so I'm not going to send them very far. Okay, so these are now ready. Okay, so here's my stack of papers. And like I said, I went through and I picked out all of the papers, and then some of them I'm using both sides, some of them I'm only using one side, and I had no idea how many pieces we're going to need. I love this side of the paper too. But I'm just going to kind of lay them down. We're going to see, tucking some in, putting some on top, just don't want to make sure to put my reindeer upside down, right? But some of them obviously can go any direction. And I'm just following my circle. I know you guys can't see the circle, but I can. So then I have these ones, right? So I thought, because it just kind of brings in yet another color. This one, you can actually see this little reindeer, so maybe we'll go like that. And I'm going to move this reindeer from being so close to this one. Okay, so this is kind of what we've got going on. Then I think we're going to go like this and like this. So this is right why I wanted to be able to move these knots around. And I can see right away I'm going to have to pull all of this out farther. And then, right, some I'm going to lay down, some I'm going to lift up, right, so that I've got lots of layers there. Okay, so something along this line. Like I said, okay, so we're going to look at some of the things that I cut out. So, like I said, I cut out this little deer that's stinking cute from the paper. So we're going to play with him. Then, these are the other things that I have. Let me just get my tray. I just wanted them contained right after I cut them out. So these are all from the Reindeer Fun stamp set and dies, right? So, like, how stinking cute is this guy? So it's 3 layers, right? So I did white and pecan pie and early espresso. And then he gets eyes and antlers. I added a little bit of ink in his ears just for a little bit more color. Then there's like the wreath. I've seen lots of people tuck him in like this. Then there are, so I thought we could hide him up here in the wreath somewhere. Then I cut out the silver bell, or the bells. And I wanted them to be silver, right? Because silver bells. So I'm just going to show you what I did. Was I used the silver foil paper, and obviously when it cuts it out, that little cross is actually going to like come out, right? But I wanted that to stay together to add more texture to each of those bells. So I just added a dimensional onto the back and inset back in that little cross piece. So now I have silver bells that I can add as, like, you can use them as an embellishment. They're perfect for a card, but just don't think because it's a because it's in the mini catalog doesn't necessarily mean that you can't use it on a scrapbooking page, right? So I can tuck them in. Then there are presents, right? So there's 2 different presents and bows. So I did play with all the different colors. So like how fun are those, right? So they've got little stitch lines on them. This one has little stitch dots. And then I have bows. And then there is also holly that we can add. So I'm going to actually add that over here. And then I did cut out like the berries too. So these are some of the things that we got going on here. I haven't actually adhered the presents together, but so you can see here, right? This little reindeer guy is 3 different cuts. And then for the bottom of the wreath, there is this. Okay, so then other thing I pulled out, we're going to check and see in here if we want to use any of the ephemera pieces. Move that out of the way. I'll put this beside me. Okay, so there are little ephemera pieces, right? So these are obviously, they were originally designed for cards, but don't think that you have to use them on cards, right? So we could totally tuck some of these things into our wreath. Like I said, I'm hoping that we will see lots more of these things coming for scrapbooking. Okay, so let's do a pine cone. There's so many things we could, the branches, the trees. There is like peppermints. But first off, okay, so also, oh, there's these two. Okay, but let's see if we're just going to pull a little title out of the sentiments. So these are actually like card sentiments, right? But like happy holidays, celebrate, wish you were here, holiday wishes, peace on earth. Like you could use so many of these. Happy Christmas, Noel, peace on earth, 'tis the season, Merry Christmas. Oh, there's gold, right? I forgot about that. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, joy, which actually would be good. May all your days be merry and bright, right? So these are the joyful sayings. 'Tis the season, Christmas whistles, just for you, just for you. Let it snow. Oh, we could use that too. Because this one kind of pulls in, right, the blue that we added. The other, so we go something like that. Then there are actually the tags too. And if I had more room in my wreath, but I think it might be full, I could have added these in too, right? So, or even added my little things on them. So let's just see here. So they're quite a nice size. Right? You could also stamp a title on here too, right? Let's just see here. I want like a roundish kind of, or maybe And I'm kind of feeling like I want to ground this. So something like this. Okay, so we've roughed things in. I'm going to start adhering things down before we start losing things. And we're going to just keep on adding. So I think we are going to keep that the same way. Okay, so I'm going to start adhering down some of these layers here, and we might swap out some of our top layers as we go, but let's start gluing things down, like I said, before we start losing them. I think I need to just pull out a few because it seems a little crowded. Okay, here we go. Okay, and even once I go around one time, if I feel like I need to add more layers in, I can go back in, right, and add more layers. So this one, just kind of make sure. Feel like I need to pull something out of there too. But if I need to tuck it back in, it's just sitting off to the side. I'm just trying to also make sure that they don't all go like in the same direction, right? So that it does actually look a little bit like a wreath, right? When you hang it on your front door. Right, you have all of that. And I don't want these two right beside each other. So no, these aren't actually. Okay, so now I'm actually going to tack down my photos. If I have to, I can move them a little bit. So I just want to make sure that I have enough wreath, right, underneath my photos. So let's don't know if I'm going to actually be able to get this through here, but well, let's just see. So this is one of my favorites. This is with the frayed grosgrain ribbon. I'm sure we could color it too if we wanted to. But it does go through the hole. There we go. And just because I can, I'm just going to add a little twine. Like I said, we're going to trim off these on the photos so they won't be like quite so crazy in a few moments. There we go. Let's just fray our little edges here. Okay, we're gonna put this up on dimensionals. Here we go. I'm just kind of keeping them to the middle so that I can play around with where I'm tucking them. But once you stick them down, it's very difficult to move them if you want to try. So I like that right there. We're going to add these little cuties on here. So just so that they're also coming up over the photo, because I'm just going to then tuck my photo in, right? Now I can actually, I'll alter that in a second. We're going to add this just like that with dimensionals, of course. Also, don't forget, so the first pinned comment is actually the link to my newsletter. And I just finished this morning my survey that's going to go out to all my newsletter people so that you can add your 2 cents. So there's some interesting things, right? I'm looking for some direction to go as far as like tutorials and workshops and all of those kind of fun things. So if you would like to add your voice, make sure to sign up for my newsletter. Okay, I'm actually going to trim these out now because they're going to bother me if we don't. So I'm going to push it down. I'm good with actually where my knots are, except for this one. I might move over just a little bit. Right? So it's not right in the middle of the reindeer's head. So that's what I mean about like I wait so that I can decide where I want that knot. And I don't like add the dimensional right on top of the twine. because either that or sometimes then I have to go in and try and like mess around with it quite a bit because it's like overlapping something else. I don't want it to overlap. Okay, so now I'm going to trim these. So and fray my little ends. Pick up the backing from the dimensional there. Okay. That came all the way out, so we're just going to leave it out for right now. Okay, cute. Okay, so now we have some more tags that we can put together. So I think we are going to add this guy kind of like that. Or I want to kind of, no, over here. Okay, so first off, we'll add a little ribbon. Actually, maybe I want a plainer one. I don't know, though, that we really have. I probably could just thin cut one, much easier. Or, let's just see here. Okay, I'm actually going to slice this one up. Okay, so this is way more than I need. So I'm going to add my ribbon. And my twine. And tie it off. I'm actually feeling like I need more right here too. Right? So like I said, you can always add more layers in. So let's use glue dots to tear these two guys together. So I can tuck one on the back of her head, or his head, I guess. And now they're together, right? And then we're going to do a couple dimensionals on the back. that. Okay, and now I'm going to cut this with my trimmer because I'm going to save it. So I'll use the other part somewhere else. And just kind of tuck it right there, and then I can actually trim these two. I left them long so that I knew if I could trim them off later, right? Okay. Oh, and I need to add my little bow. There we go. Okay. So what else do we have here? So we have this one. I'm just not 100% sold on the shape. Oh, maybe we can do something like this instead. There we go. I like that. Okay. We're just whipping along here, guys. You should see the big mess behind me, but that's okay. Okay, and then for sure, we need to add some bells on here. So with this piece too, if I wanted like another tag, I can just put one of the die cuts that's like a tag top die cut, right? And turn it right into a tag that matches, right? All the other things. Okay, so I think we want something like that. We'll do something there. Okay, so let's adhere these things down. we're just going to add just twine to this one because it is smaller and it's further away from our photos. Right, and I've left it extra long, and then I can come back in and trim it later if I need to. Love my little silicone craft sheet for adding adhesive onto things that are a little bit smaller, right? That then you don't have to worry about getting adhesive all over your desk. Ask me how I know, right? Because I am constantly. So now I'm just adding like another shape in here, right? I'll trim those off a little bit too. I'll clean up my little ties and stuff after. So let's find a shape for this. I think this one's too small. We'll use that one. So this might work. Or this one. So the nice thing is, right, you get 2 sets of all of these in here. So I'm just going to pull off some more that I think I could fit here in my wreath, and then we'll see what happens. Oh, I guess we need journaling spot. So actually, let's just think about that for one moment. I'm going to just add some strip journaling down at the bottom. Add another bell in this little cluster here. Okay, so I'm actually going to stop for a second. We're going to get some willow white cardstock. You're going to add some skinny, and I mean skinny, journaling strips here. So they're like 1/4 of an inch. Let's go. We'll try 4. actually, I should just use scissors. That's probably better. So then I can actually just cut them exactly how I want them. Okay, so same thing, I'm going to use my little silicone mat here. And we're going to go just a couple little journaling strips. One. And 2. And tuck a couple of little bells right here. Okay guys, I think we're actually going to stop adding stuff. We're going to finish with the embellishments and we're going to call it a day. So I am going to first roll up my ribbon. So I'm going to actually add some peppermints, but I'm also going to add, I think, oh, I have some of these left over too. Why don't we add these? The cherry cobbler and pearl adhesive berries. We'll just tuck some of these around. So there's like singles or they're in groups of 3, and then I'm going to add some peppermints in here. So there's all kinds of little treasures tucked in here. Move my twine to the side. My dimensionals can go over there. Those will have to all go back into their right boxes, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm actually going to add some sparkle on here first, I think. And I'm just going to kind of almost like tuck them so that you guys might not even notice them right away, but they'll just kind of add some sparkle. And then, so the peppermints are actually in 3 sizes. So some things are 2 sizes, some things are 3 sizes. So I'm just going to kind of spread them around, and that was actually the adhesive that I touched down onto my finger. think there have to be a few there by the candy cane. And then just a few tiny ones tucked in. I want them to almost look like, you know, like you threw peppermints down on the counter. So they're just kind of tucked in all the spots. Okay, I think we are going to stop for now. So that's what I got for you guys today. I think it turned out kind of cute and just kind of using some different things that you might not necessarily think of for scrapbooking, right? Like we pulled in all sorts of things from all over the place. So actually nothing other than the paper was technically like, and the paper is part of the mini catalog too, right? So that's not specifically for scrapbooking. So just because there's also now the scrapbooking brochure, don't forget that you can also still incorporate some of those things just from the mini idea book. Okay, so let's actually, where is it? Put the original inspiration beside it. But I think actually they look very different. But there we go. So there's like the original inspiration, and obviously I'm always about more photos versus less photos. So I had to get at least 2 photos onto that layout. Okay, that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you have an awesome day, and we'll talk to you later. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and make sure if you are interested in filling out the survey that you join my newsletter, and you can either do that from the link, the pinned comment at the top, or actually if you stop by my blog at chrisscreativelife.com, you'll automatically get a pop-up window that asks you if you want to subscribe to my newsletter. And so that's what I've got for you guys today. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Drop them in the comments below, and I'll come back and answer them as soon as I can. Bye-bye, guys.